Hey guys, it's Kurt and John from True Shot, and today we'll be reviewing the SAR USA SAR9 Sport.
Now guys, the SAR9 is an amazing gun, taking a lot of design cues from a number of different guns on the market, including HK and Walther. SAR USA first came out with the SAR9 in 2018, and now they're up to 6 total models, ranging anywhere from home defense to competition shooting like the one on the table here. Now if you're watching this video at the current moment, we are running a contest to give one of these away to one of our subscribers. Make sure to stay tuned for the secret code hidden somewhere in this video. Now, let's see what's in the box.
All right, guys, so here we have the overall case. It obviously comes with a manual. It comes with a 17 and a 19 round mag. We've got the grip panels there. It comes with a cleaning kit, as well as a takedown punch and a pistol lock.
Now, the ergonomics on this gun are outstanding and second to none. So let's go over a couple of the features in the ergo. First off, it reminds me a lot like the VP9, where it's got a replaceable back strap and side strap. So you can adjust the palm swell on both the back end and on the side, so you can get that gun almost custom fitted to your hand. Next thing you've got is the ambidextrous safety, which is right and left hand friendly. The mag release is currently set up in the right hand configuration, but is swappable to be right and left handed, so it is a almost completely ambidextrous gun, except for the slide release. Now we also have front and rear cocking serrations on the slide, as well as lightning cuts to help reduce some of that mass to get the recoil a little lower. Now the big thing that is kind of weird, kind of cool, is the red striker indicator. So unlike most guns on the market where they'll have a loaded chamber indicator or a red marking somewhere on the back of the slide where the firing pin protrudes so you can see that it's cocked, SAR went a different route and actually put a red striker indicator into the trigger, so when the striker is cocked, the trigger goes forward like most striker fire guns, and you can see that the gun is actually cocked, ready to go. Now the one thing that's a little odd, unlike a lot of the other guns that are cut for optics on the market, this doesn't actually have an optics cut, but yet 2 screws that come out so you can mount a crimson trace or right on micro dot. I really don't know what to say with that one.
It's a different setup, and you'll notice that it doesn't have that inset cut. So they just decided to go a different route on this one.
Now the next thing that is really cool about it is the sights. Now they're big 3-dot sights, really easy to see. But what I noticed, and I pointed this out to Kurt out at the range, is that there's an arrow cut into the striker plate that actually points up to a line in the sights, so you can line it up perfectly with the front sight. So it's really easy to pick up. For a new shooter, that's kind of a big deal.
Aftermarket sights are available from Night Vision as well, so if you do want to upgrade or change the sights that come stock on this gun, you can do that.
Now, speaking of good touches, the trigger. So we put it on the trigger pull gauge, we did 3 trigger pulls, and it came out to 5.28 pounds as the average. Kurt, the trigger itself, it's hard to explain because for me, it feels like it doesn't want to be run slow. I tried slow firing it, and you go in and you're like, no, this gun wants to be fired fast. It wants to shoot fast. It's like, I want to go fast.
I would agree. In talking with SAR and looking at this gun, it's aimed at the US PSA and the IDPA crowd, and that really shows in this gun, and the trigger especially. Is really outstanding in this gun, and I think for all of us that shot it, it was a really big surprise. I've shot and built up a lot of Glocks personally, and I've spent a lot of money to get a trigger comparable to this.
Well, and just to kind of compare it, it's almost identical to the Canic trigger, but it seems to have a little bit of longer reset, I would say. A little bit of it. They're very comparable to each other at the end of the day.
I would say they're comparable. I would have to give the nod to the Canic trigger. That is honestly one of the best triggers from a stock gun that you can buy. That being said, the take up on this it's pretty short. It's not as short as you'll find on maybe like a competition trigger. The wall is incredibly crisp. The break is really nice, and the reset is really short. Like I said, I've done a lot of work to get a Glock trigger to this point. It has a lot of the same feel, but overall, it's great.
Well, we touched on the ergos, we touched on the sights, you touched on like everything, the trigger. The one thing I will say is that unlike some other guns on the market, the length of pull from the rear of the grip to the trigger seems to be very short and easy. Now, I have seen and heard some complaints that the actual trigger safety is a little bit longer than most, so it can be, it can be trouble. But with all those interchangeable grip panels, like I could really see this gun being customized to like where I want it to be. So before we go any further, let's throw it over to specs, throw some music on it, and check this out. Alright guys, for those of you who are watching this video, for the secret code for the giveaway for the SAR9 Sport pistol, go ahead, right here is the secret code for extra entries, SAR9 rocks. Again, that is SAR9 rocks.
So overall, we put about 700 rounds through this gun, and we had 100% reliability. About 300 rounds of that was a mix of 115 and 124 grain, and about 400 was actually the SAR 124 grain. And again, 100% reliable, no malfunctions at all. So when we went out to the range, we had a number of different people try out this gun. And quite honestly, I think it exceeded all of our expectations.
Well, when we got it, the gun feels great. Like we touched on the ergos. It feels like if I were to blindfold you and put a VP9 in the hand, I think it would be...
I'd be hard pressed to tell the difference,
right.
Quite honestly, yeah.
So, as you know, this gun reminds me a lot of the Springfield Garrison, where the Garrison, it came in here, it felt great in the hand. The expectations were it was going to be a reliable 1911, same thing. This is going to be a reliable striker fire gun. But then we got it out to the range. And when we got there, there's something different. It surprised all of us. It took us all back. We all pulled the first mag through it, and you just see our faces go, wait a minute.
Absolutely. I think we all did it. We all would finish and turn and go, it's kind of like, did you see that? This gun shoots great. It's easy to shoot. There's some guns that are more work to shoot than others. This one naturally, and across the board, I think we can all find that. There's some people who naturally they can shoot a Glock, or some people have a little bit harder time, or some people say, hey, you know what? I like Smith & Wessons or whatever. They just fit me better. This thing across the board, everybody just picked up and could just easily shoot and hit on target.
This is a fun gun.
Not only is it a fun gun, my thing is, and you touched on it a little bit before, it's easy to shoot, it's really flat, and you can shoot this thing fast.
Oh yeah.
And a lot of that is due to the weight on it is good, the weight distribution on it is good, the grip is great, but the trigger on it is really, really nice. At no point, and I was trying, I couldn't overrun the trigger, and that's definitely saying something.
Well, and not only that, but and again, we touched on the ergos. The ergos feel great, but then you've got, like, what we didn't mention, it's got that undercut. It just wants the shootability, pointability, the ability to recoil manage, the ability to get back on target, and the accuracy, which we normally don't touch on because we shoot steel. So we're putting rounds on steel you can't normally see. This time we had fresh pan steel out there, and we were getting groups like this, like
it was really
good sized group.
All right, I'm just gonna say it. It's really popular right now. We had to do it. We did the Dickens Drill.
We did do the
Dickens Drill. If you guys don't know, it's basically 40 yards. You have to get 8 out of 10 shots in under 15 seconds. And a lot of us did it. And honestly, we did it cold with this gun. And the fact that we are able to do that without really that many rounds through this thing really says something.
Well, not only that, we were able to hit accurately. this thing runs NATO spec ammo like it's its job.
Absolutely.
And most guns that will have problems with those hard primers, this thing just chews through it like it's nothing.
So at the time of filming, we're looking at price points. It's a pretty wide range, honestly. We're looking anywhere from about $365 to about $570, $580.
It's a wide range.
It really is, but honestly, that's kind of where it's at least right now during filming. And that really brings up an interesting point. And what's going to happen is that I think, us included, you know, at that higher price point, we start having some questions. That being said, if you can find this thing for, you know, anywhere from $360 to under $400, all day long, I would buy this gun.
Well, that leads to like the biggest question we always ask: are we the buyer of these guns? And this one, if it's at that $400 price point and below, this is a great option for. I'm getting into USPSA. I'm getting into IDPA. I'm a first-time gun owner. Like, the recoil impulse, the shootability, the ability to run the trigger, the amount of features it comes with, and you get that +2 extension on the mag, so that makes me a buyer at that 4 and under. But now you're talking, I would even say 450 and under.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But then we're talking 500 plus. And that's where it gets hard. That being said, this thing's really hard to beat. It really is. Compared to, and I'm going to say, compared to the Canik rival, because this is going to be its major competition. The Canik line of pistols and the SAR line of pistols are going to compete against each other. They have ones that almost match completely in their lines. Mm-hmm. Is this on scale to the rival out of the box? Not with features. Where the rival has, you know, lightning cuts, it's built for competition, it's got the holster, it comes with the mags, it comes with everything. The rival's a value that can't be beaten. If SAR came out with the same package at the same price point, now we're talking about hard. It really is. And I think where Canik edges it out is the trigger.
I would agree. I would say 400, 450 and under. I would suggest this gun all day long. I had a number of discussions with folks, and I'm 100% serious in this. I'm about to buy one just so I have it in my repertoire if I'm taking out a new shooter. Because honestly, this would be one of the first guns that I would put in somebody's hand. It is that easy to shoot. The recoil impulse is so low, and it's just a naturally easy gun to shoot. If you're going to get into IDPA or USPSA, it's definitely a contender. That being said, the rival is some steep competition, and that gun was purpose built for that purpose, and the amount that you get for the price is really outstanding. One of the big things for me between those two is really if you're going to run an optics class or not. If you are, I'm afraid I'm going to have to kind of give the nod to the rival. Does this, can you mount an optic on this gun? Yes. Is it as robust and as comprehensive of a setup as the rival? Honestly, no. Is the trigger on the rival better? Yes, it is. This one's really close. It really is. I mean, the rival is honestly kind of the gold standard, and this is not much below that. If you like, a really polished Glock trigger, then this is definitely, something you should look at. But again, depending on what you're gonna do, again, for $450 and under, this thing is absolutely amazing.
When SAR came out with this in 2018, it kind of took the gun industry like, hey, wait a minute, this is a copy of a copy, but now I think it's its own kind of standalone kind of. It really took some those design cues and made it better.
Guys, thanks so much again for checking in and seeing the review of this. We really appreciate it. Be sure to like and subscribe. It helps us out a ton. And don't forget, there is that contest.
Thanks again for watching, and have a great rest of your day.